All right, Megila Nicholas, let's go.
So we're starting the Mishnah. We basically outlined the Mishnah very fast, but I don't know if anybody else was listening, but I definitely wasn't listening. So for myself, I definitely have to start from the beginning. So we're discussing when we read the Megillas Esther, which what we're used to is the day of Purim, which is the 14th. That's when it falls out. Yerushalayim or other walled cities, 15th. Right? That's what we do today. Today, what we call Purim is Yud Aleph, and Shushan Purim is Tesvav. The Mishnah starts, Megillah Nikres, Biyud Aleph, Biyud Beis, Biyud Gimel, Biyud Dalet, B'Tesvav. The Megillah could be read on the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 15th. Lo Pachas, V'lo Yoser. The Gemara is going to discuss why it's an interesting lashon of Pachas and Yoser. Anyways, it already told us the days. The Gemara, I believe, gets into it if I remember correctly. Maybe the Rav remembers. I only learned it once, and it was 20 years ago. So
we'll cut that out.
Right, we'll edit that out later. Okay. Krachanum kafim chaimim moisi yeshua ben nun karim b'tesvav. So cities that are surrounded by a wall from the times of Yeshua ben Nun, karim b'tesvav. They read on the 15th. Kfarim, villages, vayars gedolos, and big cities, karim b'Yud Dalet. Read the Megillah on Yud Dalet. Ella shakfar makdimin liyom haknisa. Except that the villages they're makdim to Yom HaKnisa. In other words, they always go back to the Yom HaKnisa, which is a Thursday or a Monday. Again, we discussed Yom HaKnisa. There's two really different shatim. If it's when the Bezdin got together, or when people went to the big cities to daven with the minyan to hear Leining.
What is this?
So the Kfarim, they go back. In other words, they don't advance. They go back to the Yom HaKnisa, which is a Monday or a Thursday. So if it falls out on a not Monday or Thursday, they'll go back and read it early, as opposed to going to the next Thursday.
Why does that fall out on a Monday or a Thursday?
No, it doesn't fall out. That's what we're discussing. When it doesn't fall out on a Monday or Thursday, so then they go back a day or two.
Why?
Because the main reason is because these people didn't know how to read the Megillah themselves.
So klein state. It's a little
it was small. They were the
farmers. They're nothing. Yeah.
They were the farmers, or they were people that couldn't read the Megillah themselves. And for them to go hear Megillah was it was a big deal, because they had to go to a place where people could read for them. So they would go twice a week. First of all, they would bring the food, because just like it is today, the people who live in the country, have farms. They have the eggs and they have the chickens, and the people who live in the cities, are not farmers, So they lived. It was similar to how we have it now. That they were cities where people lived all joined together, and then the people who brought the food were the ones who had land that was living outside. So they would go into the cities on 2 days a week to hear Kriyas Torah, also for Bezdin purposes. Bezdin sat Mondays and Thursdays. So that's the two different reasons that are brought down why they have this Yom HaKnisa, the day of gathering.
Right.
Okay, so the Mishnah is going to discuss which situation it would be on 11th, which situation will be on 12th, and all that. So that's what we're doing right now. Right, so the villagers always go back to the Yom HaKnisa that's previous. Ketzad. We're going to discuss every single type of. For whoever can see, Chaimi just walked in. Ketzad. Chaliyos Yudalad B'Sheni. If Yudalad, the 14th day of Adar, which is when we have our Purim today, falls out on a Monday, so the Kfarim by R Sholom is Karim by Bayayim. So the people who live in the villages that usually go to Yom HaKnisa, they read on that day because that's the day that they're there anyways. Also, that's the day that it falls out on. Ayars Gedolah is Karim Babiyan. So the people from the big city that would, read on the day of Purim, they're also reading on that day. And the places that are walled cities, the following day. So that's Monday. So the following day is Tuesday. Tesvav. Basically, how we know Purim now. If Yodalid falls out on either a Tuesday or a Wednesday, Kfar Makdim Liyam Knisa. So the Kfarim, the villages, they go to Yom Knisa, which is Monday, right? So that would make it either 13th or the 12th.
Why not Thursday?
So
you're saying beforehand.
Right. So they always go back. They don't go forward. The people that are not reading in Zman, right? Because the people who are not reading in Zman, they're always going to go back in time. They're not going forward because then it's like after. The Gemara also discusses that Bizmanehem, that these times. So like you have to like read the Megillah in the time that Megillah is supposed to be read. So like you always wanna, if b'shas chak, you wanna read it earlier, not read it later. Then you pass the zman. If the 14th falls out on a Thursday, the villages and the big cities read on that day, Thursday, and the walled cities on the next day, which is Friday. If Yudalid falls out on Erev Shabbos, which I believe is this year, the people from the villages